help you deal with people, family and friends, who don't want you to stop drinking. This is a pretty common problem. Most people encounter this when they decide they want to quit alcohol, and there is a way that you can deal with it. And I'm going to show you how you can do that quite easily and comfortably and safely. Before I do, I just want to tell you about my Soberful workbook, which you can download for free. The link is in the description. And in it, it's a workbook that describes my whole Soberful program, the 5 pillars of sustainable sobriety. Sustainable sobriety is sobriety that just sustains itself without you thinking about it. And there's a bunch of exercises and stuff in that as well. Okay, so we live in such an alcohol-drenched society, and the marketing is so good that when most people drink, most adults drink. It's almost like it's just a given. It's inevitable. Alcohol is so related to our celebrations, to food, to every single possible event. You know, the one I've always found curious is sport. It's not really a natural fit, is it? Sport. I mean, you play sport, being drunk, hungover, it's limiting. But marketing, let me just get rid of that. Marketing has been successful to affiliate those things together. So drinking and sport go together. So there's a lot of drinking everywhere, and everybody's kind of been seduced by that marketing. So it's going to be a big shock to your peer group when you decide to stop drinking, because what you've done is you've upset the apple cart. What we tend to do when we drink, and I know some people are maybe at the stage where they're actually drinking on their own, but a lot of us are still drinking with people and in groups. We surround ourselves by people who drink the same way we do. Generally, most of us, we drink. I mean, I remember years ago when I was dating someone who just barely drank. Clearly the relationship didn't last very long, but I just remember, like, you know, we woke up on a Saturday morning, it's like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, go to the pub. Like, what? Like, that's what we do all weekend. We go to the pub. It's fun. Like, and I was looking at him like, you're weird. And he was looking at me going, you're weird and you have a problem. And I think the relationship kind of disintegrated from there. But we surround ourselves with people who drink the way that we do. So you will be upsetting the apple cart when you decide that you don't want to drink. And people around you are going to find that very, very frightening. It's going to frighten them. It's going to unsettle them, because immediately they're going to ask themselves, if you're saying you don't want to drink and you're saying you have a drink problem and we drink together, what does that say about my drinking? And they're not going to want to answer that question. They're not ready. They don't want to. And you know what? They don't have to. They don't have to. That's their journey, their business. So their tactic will be to persuade you to go back to how things were, because that's much easier. So what some of you probably experience, I know what I experienced a little bit, is a campaign to get you drinking again. So all of a sudden, your peer group becomes addiction experts, and they'll say to you, "You're not an alcoholic. Don't be so ridiculous." Or, you know, my uncle Ben drank every day till he was 104 and he was absolutely fine. Or they'll give you all of these rationalizations, like, you don't have a drink problem because you get up for work every day. You're absolutely fine. What are you talking about? You've got a mortgage. You can't have a drink problem. All of that kind of bullshit. And it can be hard. That kind of pressure can be really, really hard. Hey, Lisa, I'm so glad you're listening. So this is the first strategy, is to understand that your peer group, your family, the people around you who you drink with or who are used to you drinking will exert pressure. So that's going to happen. They're going to exert pressure, and you need to be prepared for that. So the first strategy is just preparation. Is these people are going to be upset. They're not going to like what I'm doing, so they're going to start a campaign and they're going to come at me with all these strategies. Know that it is coming. If you are forewarned, you can be forearmed. That's all it is. The first strategy is just know that that is coming. I have to say, to be really, really honest, long term, this is another strategy to separate your true friends from your fair weather friends. And that is the reality, is your true friends who love you and care for you will not care that you've stopped drinking and will support you. Your fair weather drinking buddies will start a campaign to persuade you to go back to how things were. I'm just going to read a couple of comments. Sarah, I found people felt judged simply by me being there. Yeah, that can happen. My mum would say, you don't have the enzyme to break down alcohol. That's a great, I like that. That's great. In the early days, in the really, 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 really early days, it's really important to have a plan. So a lot of people ask me, can I ever go out like again and drink and like, can I go out in drinking places? Sorry. Can I go out in drinking places? What about birthdays? What about Christmas? What about New Year's Eve? Oh my God. Yeah, you can do all of those things. I mean, I don't hang around in bars, but I was at a party on Monday. There was alcohol there. None of that's a problem. In the very, very early days, it might be a good idea to stay clear of them. Just in the really first few days, weeks, until you feel a bit more comfortable, a bit more secure. It might be just worth having a little, rehearsed answer when people invite you out. If you do feel like you want to go out, like say it's a really close friend's birthday or something like that, go with a plan, have a plan, arrive late and leave early is usually my plan. Try and identify a safe person that you know is just safe and you're comfortable with, hang out with them, and have an exit strategy. So have a plan like, I'm so glad I came, happy birthday, I have to get up really early, I hope you don't mind me leaving, and usually that kind of stuff is fine. I also think it's always best to be honest, but in absolute certain circumstances, you don't have to tell people why you've stopped drinking. It's none of their business, frankly. But I don't know, say it's a work thing and you just don't want to go into it. It is okay in those circumstances, and you have my permission to just say something like, I'm on medication right now and I just can't drink. It just deflects it. It doesn't open it up. You won't be pushed. And, I never tell, it's always better to be honest, but there are certain situations where people are like, hey, have a drink. We're celebrating. We met all our quotas this month or whatever. To just say that you have medication. Yeah. I would much rather people be honest and direct, but sometimes it's just easier in the very early days to do that. One of the strategies that is really important is to just keep it really, really simple and repeat. Just kind of say the same thing, because you'll find people will just keep coming at you at different angles. Like, oh, if I try this, or you just have one, or all that kind of rubbish. Just say the same thing over and over again. Don't engage, don't get into an argument. Just say the same thing over and over and over again. Thanks, but I'm on medication. Thanks, but I'm on medication. I can't drink, but I will have an apple juice. Thanks, I'm on. And sometimes you have to, I've done it. Sometimes you have to say it 3 or 4 times before people really, really get the message. So the second strategy was to have a plan when you go into drinking situations. Have a strategy, identify a safe person, and always have an exit strategy. So go in knowing I'm going to leave at 9:30. I'm going to say I have to get up early. It's a work commitment, or my dog hasn't been let out of the house all day, or whatever it is you can come up with it before, so you're not flustering when you're on the spot. Have an exit strategy and stick to it. So the third strategy, and this is really so much bigger than the problem that we're talking about. This is about dealing with people, dealing with difficult people in general. And it's that we interpret everything personally. Not only do we do that, everybody else interprets the world personally. So when maybe you're saying to your friends, look, I really think I have a drink problem. I'm just going to stop. I might stop for a while. I'm going to get some help, whatever. They are going to interpret that personally and make it about them. So when they react to you, it's not actually personal. It's just not personal. So the third strategy is to really remember that this is not personal and it's not about you. And here is what you do specifically. When I say it's like a family member, a really good friend who's really on a mission to get you to drink again. So The first strategy is to know that it's coming, prepare yourself. Second strategy is to have an exit strategy to leave the event if you need to. And the third one, when this person, they come at you and they say like, oh, don't be so ridiculous, you don't have a drink problem, all that kind of rubbish. Breathe. Remind yourself that it's not personal and it's not about you. And then just listen to them. Because what they are doing is they are inviting you, it's an invitation to a debate and an argument. And that's what they really want. They really want to get you engaged in a debate and argument about you not having a drinking problem. And they are going in all guns blazing with that. They're prepared. They are prepared and they're going to shoot you down. Your job, your strategy is to not engage with the debate or argument. Ignore the invitation. And here's the other thing. This person, and we all have a person like who's really on a mission, will be able to push your triggers. They will really be able to they're probably pretty persuasive. So be prepared for this. Know it's going to happen. Know that it isn't personal, that it's not about your drinking. It is about their drinking. So let them talk and just listen. Don't respond, just nod your head. Just nod your head, listen. Let them go on and on and on. Eventually, they'll run out of steam and realize that their invitation has not been accepted and taken up. You're not ignoring them, you're not being rude, just listen. At the end, say thank you. That was interesting. It leaves them nowhere to go because you haven't taken their invitation, and that's what they want. So you're not being rude, you're not getting into, because it's just an argument that's just, nobody's going to win, it's going to go round and round and round, and you're going to get really angry and upset and really, really, really triggered. So the key strategy, the third strategy, is to not engage in the argument, to just not accept the invitation. You know, this is really just about beginning this process, and this is essential to sustainable sobriety, and in understanding that you don't need approval from other people for what you are doing. The mistake we make is that we think we need other people to like us or approve of us or accept us, when really we need to like and approve and accept ourselves. What other people, and here's the newsflash, what other people think about us is not our business. It's just not our business. It's none of my business what you think of me. It really isn't. And the other thing is, it's not just that it's not my business. There's absolutely nothing I can do about it. I just can't do anything about what you think about me. I just have to live my life. And I sleep in my head at night. And I'm the person who has to like myself. And this, practicing these strategies at the beginning of your sobriety is something that as you go on, you will continue to practice for the rest of your life, and it becomes easy and you don't even think about it. And the ultimate goal is to be free of the good and bad opinion of other people. And we do it just by practicing it. So I just want to support you by just, I'm going to write this up in a blog post, so I'll post it. And if you check out my website, veronicavalley.com, I'll put it all in a blog post, all of the strategies and everything you need to do. But the really most important thing to remember is be prepared. It is going to happen. People will try and exert pressure. The second one is to always have a plan when you go into drinking situations, and particularly an exit strategy. And the third one is to not accept the invitation into the argument and debate about your drinking, because it's not about your drinking, it's actually about their drinking, but they want to make it about your drinking and they want you to change because that's easier for them and that's what's going on. Listen politely, wait till they run out of steam, say thank you, and then ask them about a neutral subject. How was your holiday? Or how's your dog doing? Is your mum doing okay? Just change the subject. And you know what will happen is people will just forget and just move on. And if you do that enough times, they just won't bother trying after a while.